I want to welcome everyone. My name is Lee. I'm one of the partners at UniformMarket. And before I do plunge into this, I would also like to thank TRSA for jointly promoting this webinar series, and today this webinar in particular. So as I said, and I know that you're all here for learning about analyzing website performance. And we will be focusing on Google Analytics strongly. That's a tool of choice that we use at UniformMarket. So in this webinar, we're going to review 3 steps of search engine optimization and search engine marketing. Every program of search engine optimization or marketing has 3 aspects. There's acquisition, conversion, and retention. You want visitors to come to your site. Once they come to your site, you want to convert them from a visitor to a customer. And then once they're a customer, you want to do things beyond the initial contact in order to retain them as customers. You want them to come back to your site. You want them to be repeat customers. You want them to become people that turn that golden crank of a handle and purchase things from your web store. So today we're going to review the basic tool sets that Google provides with an emphasis on Google Analytics program. We like Google for many reasons. One reason, of course, is that Google provides their tools for free, but also they're also very good tool sets. In this slide, I want to emphasize how it's important that the website itself, let me get my highlighter, your website feeds into the analytics tools. And the tools provide data that give you feedback into how to optimize your site, how to do certain things in order to make it better, to make it more efficient. So there's constantly a feedback loop. And search engine optimization, search engine marketing, it's an iterative process. As you get more data, you end up making changes to your store that help you fulfill the goals of your store. And then you get more data and you make your changes. So I want to just stress it's an iterative, ongoing process. Search engine optimization is not a switch that you just turn and then walk away and you're done forever. It's something that provides data, that provides feedback to your store in a constant loop. So as I mentioned previously, there are 3 different portions of search engine optimization. The first is the acquisition, followed by conversion, and then retention. And the things that we mean when we talk about acquisition are you can do site submissions. So you can submit your site, your store, to local directories. Google has a local directory, Yahoo. There's a lot of local directories for people that are looking local. Sitemap submissions, that's your whole site, getting that into the search engines so that they know how to crawl your site. Backlink creation, that's creating links from other sites to your sites that help the search engines understand the importance of your site and give your pages ranking. And I'll go into that a little more. News generation is always good, putting out press releases, putting out news articles, having things published on news sites. Blogging today now is a very important aspect of it. Blogging about things that you know about, things that make you an expert, the things that will bring people knowledge. Search engines love content. The search engines love things that allow people to find the information they're looking for. And so if you're the expert and if you have good content that's unique content, that's original content, that gives you a step above, it makes you more of an expert, makes your site have that much higher page ranking. Then there's social media content, Facebook, Twitter, and those kinds of things. All those things help towards the acquisition phase of search engine optimization. Now the conversion phase is then optimizing your home page, optimizing your landing pages so that when someone does click on a link from a Google search result, for example, when they hit the landing page, they actually see what they're looking for. So if they click on scrubs, they don't land on something that has military hardware, because that's not what they're searching for, even though your site may have multiple types of things in there. Website content customization. Well, it's important that your web content be unique. Duplicate content is frowned down upon by the search engines, all the search engines. So it's important that your content be unique, and that takes customization. Conversion then also is analyzing the entry and the exit points. Where are people coming in from, and where are they leaving? And using that kind of data, you can understand some things you might have to tweak in order to increase your conversion rates. Google also provides conversion funnels. That's a more advanced topic. And then I have data. And that's the nice thing about Google Analytics. You get lots of data, you can analyze it, you can see the things you're doing, and you can make changes that will help you convert on the site. And then retention, I just put down a couple: promotional campaigns, email marketing campaigns, things that you can do to create customers that keep coming back to you. I'm going to hop back 2 steps. One is I want to talk real quickly. There's 3 tools that we rely really heavily on. There's others that we also use, but Google Webmaster tools, Google Analytics, and Google Website Optimizer. Just want to make you aware of what the Webmaster tools are and what the Optimizer is, even though we're going to focus predominantly on analytics in this webinar. The Google Webmaster tools, that's a way to submit your search engines, to make your site known to Google, and it allows you to submit your site maps. You can look at what kind of keywords are being used to get to your site. You can look at crawl errors. These are problems that the Google bot has when it hits your website. For instance, in this case, see that there were 994 not found. Those are 404 errors. So that means the sitemap has pages that have been removed. The sitemap had not been updated, and when it went to those pages, it got a 404 error. Unreachable is one. It's hard to know what unreachable is. Maybe there was internet, maybe it was down, maybe it was just busy. Links to your site, you can look at who's linking to you. Yahoo.com, UniformMarket.com, and these guys. And you can look at the search queries. So for instance, on this site, boots, someone entered boots. They had 200 impressions, but they had less than 10 clicks. This is, I don't know where I took this from, but this is not exactly what you'd like to see. You'd like to see more impressions and definitely a lot more clicks. But this is the kind of information, and this is the kind of way you can use the Webmaster tools to tell Google how to look at your site. The next slide looks at the Website Optimizer. And the Website Optimizer actually is a very complex tool. It provides lots of things that you can do. The one that I really like the most, and just the one I want to emphasize, is it allows you to do A/B testing, where you can throw out 2 versions of a page to see what the change you're trying to judge will do to whatever your goal is. For instance, on this site, our goal is to get people to join our mailing list. And what we wanted to know is, do we get more people joining our mailing list if we put the sign up on the left nav bar at the bottom, or if we put it up at the top? And then what Google Optimizer does is it serves out these pages 50% of A, 50% of B, and over time, if there is a clear winner, you can see, because it will tell you how many times this has been filled out versus how many times this has been filled out. And you may find that it makes no difference, and you may find that one of these goes way ahead. One of the things is, everyone has opinions on what the proper way of doing things are, what looks good, what works. The nice thing about having data is that you can actually test it, and it goes then beyond opinion, and it goes into actual data and facts, and so you can see what works best, and then you can make that change. And then after you make that change and you've increased your traffic or your goal conversions, you can make another change. And like I said before, it's an iterative process. You can keep making these small increments towards increasing your website traffic and conversion.
Lee, this is Dave. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay, the next slide, this is just the overview of Google Analytics and all the stuff that's in it. I'm not going to go through everything because Google Analytics has a lot to it. What I'm going to do is an overview, but I just wanted to point out the types of things that Google Analytics allows you to see, such as demographics, behavior, the technology people are using, where people are coming from, the sources, what they're looking at, what pages they land on, what pages they exit on. You can even look at the speed of your pages. There's a site speed function. And you can look at search, and you can set up goals, and you can look at goal funnels. So this is more advanced activity, and I'm only going to touch on this briefly. And then finally, of course, there's the e-commerce, which we're all interested in because it allows you to easily get an overview of it, looking at the transactions and your product performance and other aspects of that. So today what we're going to do is how to get a feel for your site's performance. And for that, we're going to look at 6 main areas. We're going to hold it down to that today. Where are visitors coming from? And for that, we'll look at the traffic sources report. Then we're going to look at what are visitors' visiting habits, and we'll look at visitor loyalty and recency reports. Then we're going to look at what are people seeing when they hit the site, and that's landing pages reports. How are people searching to find you? We'll look at the search reports. How are shoppers searching once they're on the site? And for that, we'll look at the site search reports. And then finally, we'll look what products are making the most money, and we'll look at the e-commerce reports. These are built-in reports. These are not anything that we had to manipulate or change. These are ones that just come packaged with Google Analytics and are just a click away for anyone that logs into it. It's also possible to make custom reports, and as you become more acquainted with Google Analytics and more knowledgeable about it, you may want to create your own custom reports. So the first one we'll look at is the traffic sources report. In the traffic sources report, it gets divided up into 4: search traffic, referral traffic, direct traffic, and then campaigns. The search engines, search traffic, that's both organic and paid. So the organic and paid, it's this stuff that is free, that comes from search engine optimization. This is where, Search engine optimization is what you do in order to increase your organic ranking and search traffic. Referral traffic are the other sites that link to you, the backlinks and things like that. Direct traffic, that's when people just come in and they go to a browser and they just enter your web address. So that's going to be existing customers or maybe offline campaigns. You give someone a flyer at a store or you pass it out, or a mailing, go to suchandsuch.com, even with a direct URL to a specific category or landing page. But that will be counted as direct traffic. And then campaigns are things that you send out, email campaigns, display or banner ads, Facebook campaigns, or links from social media sites. And those are searched and stored as different types of campaigns. Now, one of the things that people talk about is keeping diversified customer acquisition strategies. And what that means, And the way I look at it is like financial portfolio. You don't want everything in stocks. You don't want everything in bonds. You don't want everything in cash. You mix it up a little, so if anything happens to one of those, you're protected in another area. And that's the way people like to look at your search engine as your visitors, where they're coming from. So if something would happen, for instance, a change in the search engine algorithms and your ranking goes down while you adjust that, you still have your referral traffic, you still have your direct traffic, you still have your campaign traffic. So a mix of this is nice. But a lot of traffic always coming from the search engines, 60%, this is a good number. Just so we're sure we're all talking about the same things, I just wanted to lay out real quickly that when I'm talking about search versus, or free versus paid, when you do a Google search, you put in textiles, for instance, you get 163 million results about. The organic search is the stuff that comes up on the left. The paid search is what comes up on the right. The higher you come up here, textile museum here, this is a very good ranking. Right below the images, this would be the best that you could get through your organic optimization. So again, one of the things, now we're going into actual Google Analytics. Once you get into the analytics, you can see that there's a breakdown, and they'll easily show you organic versus paid. Now you can go further into the organic searches, and this is where it gets interesting, I think, and you can see which search engines people are using to get to your site. And in this case, it's broken down by percent, and we can see that Google has 81.64%. Bing is right behind it with 8.03, Yahoo pretty close with 7.76, and then it goes down from there. So what I take away from this, and the way I approach this, we approach this at UniformMarket, is that we optimize for Google and let the other search engines come along. Google is right now the main search engine. We have over 80% of our traffic that is coming from Google, and so we follow Google very closely in terms of the blogs that they put out, the forums that Google has, and we follow their optimization suggestions, techniques, and algorithms, and the others come along with it.
Hey, Lee, this is Dave. Can I interrupt for a quick second?
Sure.
I want to make sure that you explain to everybody how they could type questions in the for us to answer, and they can do it anytime during the seminar.
Oh.
And so
okay,
that
why don't you go ahead?
Well, I actually don't know where to type in. If
okay.
On your GoToMeeting control panel that when you all logged in, you can see where you can type in questions or comments. And so please do that. And myself, I'm Dave Sykes, or Lee Gorski, and I think Rick Levine from our company is also listening. We will answer those questions as Lee is going through this. So please ask any questions you have, and we'll answer them, or give us any comment.
Right. Yeah. If I'm going too slow, too fast.
Yes.
Or
so there you go.
Like
so someone asks a question such as, "What is an impression?" and we'll go ahead and answer that while Lee's going through it, and we'll come back to it. So thank you, Lee, and thank you for letting me interrupt you.
Yeah, Dave. Thanks for reminding me about doing that. All right. I'm going to go back a couple slides, and right here on this page, when you put up, when you do a search in the engines, this right here is an impression. This is an impression for a for the organic side, for the free ones, and these are impressions for the paid ones if you were using AdWords. But right here, Textile Museum, that's a single impression, and then if I would click on it, it would be registered as a click. I can't see the questions as they're coming. Rick, can you IM me them if I need?
Dave and I will cover the questions, Lee, and we'll shout out if there's ones that you should address for everyone.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. so here I just wanted to write Google being the main search engine, and that's the one that we focus on. Now, this next slide shows something because I find this very interesting, that, you know, it's a worldwide web, but people do search locally. And so it's important to, in your site setup, to keep that in mind when you're optimizing your site. These are some searches that we pulled off, and it's where to buy Florida paramedic patches, where to buy scrubs in San Diego, where to buy lab coat Baton Rouge, where to buy scrubs in San Francisco. So even though people shop everywhere, people still do like to shop locally. People will put this into your search engine. So it's important to not ignore the local side of you know, people's shopping habits, because people like to get to know the people they shop with. The next slide here, these are site submissions to local business directories, and these are ones that we use with our customers. Google, Yahoo, and Bing both have them. With Google, it's called Places. Yahoo, it's local listings, and Bing is just the listings. These are three places where your businesses can be submitted. You can talk about the business and add pictures, and that's the local side of you know, search engine optimization. Also on your site, it's always a good idea to make sure that your locality, zip code, address are on there and on the first page, so that the search engines pick up your locality. Okay. So what are visitors' habits? Let's look at the visitor loyalty and recency reports. So one of the first reports to look at is how many visitors that are coming to your site are new and how many are returning. Now, that's important because a returning visitor is a returning customer. It's someone who's been to your site before and they're coming back. And as with anything else, the more touches you have with someone, the more likely you are to have a conversion for whatever your goal is, whether it's getting people to buy things or log in to and subscribe to an email list, or, you know, whatever it is. So new visitors are very easy to track. Google Analytics breaks it down. The one caveat with the new visitor versus returning visitor is the approximation of this number, because if someone deletes all their cookies every time they go out, or if they don't, or, you know, they switch browsers or go to another machine, a returning visitor can look like a new visitor. So the new visitor is probably going to end up being a little lower number, and your returning visitor would actually be a little higher than maybe obvious from Google Analytics. But Google also makes it real easy to see things like how many visits people make and how many page views. So this is visitor loyalty, and the number of page views that someone did, if they're there one time, that's 61.4% of pages that get viewed are viewed by people that have come once. And the same, 60% of your visits are by people who have come once. And then it goes from there. So people who have come to your site twice represent 15% of all your visitors and 15% of all your page views. And then it goes down from there, and you even have some 200 plus. So this gives you an idea of the number of visits that people make and their behavior and how they're looking at your site. This is days since last visit. So it also lets you see how long it is between people's visits. And here you can see that most people are coming in 0 days, so it's their first visit. And so 80% of your page views, 80% of your visits are from people who are just coming there first time here. And then it goes up from there. So here there's, for instance, it's been 5 days and 1,005 visitors within this time period. Took 5 days between touches. And this is important because it shows you that there are people out there that do keep coming back, even though it's not frequently, but it is regularly. And so that information can be useful. And if you find out people who are coming to your site by collecting their emails, you can mark it out to people. And people who have been gone for a while, you can send out coupons to get people back in. Customer retention. That's the thing about getting people to come back and having more visits. And there's many things you can do to help increase it. And these are just a few. Regular emails with what's new, what the specials are, online specials and in-store specials you can tell people about, sending out coupons for them to use, sending out emails about discounts that can be applied, and different customer appreciation type sales. Okay, so now we'll look at what are people seeing when they hit the site. So let's look at the landing reports. Here's the first landing page report. And you can see that we're viewing it by landing page. And it just lists the top landing pages. The slash is for the home page. And that's the most. And it's obvious. It's color-coded in the pie chart. You can look at the numbers. And you can see that 48% of your visitors, when they come, they're coming to the home page. Here's just another way of doing the home page, as well as here's another way of doing the home page. So altogether, 48 and 15, 63% about of the visitors to this site are landing on the home page. So that's one good reason to have your home page optimized, make sure that it tells the story you want to tell. 305 people are going directly to the Contact Us page. Somewhere they maybe bookmarked it and they wanted to contact you, so that's what they're doing, or they're clicking on it from a search result. Store locations, and you can just go through and you can see where are the landing pages. Here now we're looking at a page for a specific product. So this could have been through some kind of promotion or an email. Same here, same here. So if you look at the landing pages, you can get an idea of what your strongest pages are. And if the strongest pages are, let's say, these True Spec Ranger bands, make sure that the page they land on is really, really optimized, really nice, really tells the story, has good marketing. Because you can't, it's hard to work on every page of your website, so you like to find the ones that are most important. And probably the 80-20 rule holds true in this as it does in anything else, where 80% of your people are going to look at 20% of your web pages. So some kind of a breakdown like that. So you use these tools in order to focus on what those web pages are, what those landing pages are, so you know where to focus your effort. Another way to look at the same report is just, instead of clicking landing page, click on page title. And what that allows you to do then is not have to worry about understanding what the URL is, but be able to just look at the title of the page. And here we can see that on this site, wherever I took this from, the 511 Tactical Blackhawk Streamlight, this is a category, 7,600 plus went to it. So I would assume that someone sent out some kind of promotional materials, emails or something, got people to click into this category. And you would hope that this landing page would be optimized, because I'm betting what they want people to do is land on this page and buy what's being marketed there. And this lets you look at all your page tiles, so it's a nice, easy-to-read report. Now, Google also makes it very easy to look at different dimensions And another dimension is, in this case, we're looking at source. Okay, different dimensions that can be used, for instance, traffic sources or visitors. So you can break this down by, let's look at the landing page, and let's make the secondary dimension the source. So people who are coming to the home page using Google, people coming, and all these are different ways of getting to the home page, the first 7. So you can see in Bing, coming to the home page, what the percentage is, Yahoo, what the percentage is, Google, what the percentage is, and then down here, the contact us, how many are coming from Google. And this allows you to look at secondary dimensions. Okay, so once people are, the next thing you want to know is, how are people searching for you? And Google Analytics makes this easy to find out by looking at the search reports. And in the search reports, here we're looking at the keyword, and these are searches that are done in Google that people click on and come to your site. So these are, people finding your site. And so here, Ranger bands. Once again, this was a big one, 143 in the time period that this is for. This would be 30 days from when I made this slide. And Google makes it really easy. Up at the top, there's a very simple calendar where you can select your different time periods. And the default is always previous 30 days. So in the previous 30 days from when I did this report, we see that 143 visits came from the keyword Ranger bands. Scrubs, 67, Scrubs in San Diego, 63, and so on. So you can look at the keywords and the keyword phrases that people are using to actually find you. And the reason this report is good is because these are ones that already have traction. So these are keywords and keyword phrases that you want to take very serious, and you want to increase their page ranking. So you want to make sure that your site is optimized for these keywords and keyword phrases. Because like I said, it's an iterative process, and you can keep moving these things up. And these are ones that people are already doing, so you've got something to work with. Another dimension that you can look at is city. And here we're looking at keyword, but now we're going to look at city. And so you can see Scrubs in San Diego. No surprise, that one came from San Diego. Scrubs, San Diego. So you can see where people are, relative to where you are. You can see what people are searching on. So here's one, uniform from San Diego. The next one is Ranger bands. That's from St. Petersburg. Carmen's uniforms, Dickies 4870 from Austin. And so that gives you information about people who are local, people who are far. It's just another dimension that you can examine. Then we can look for total unique searches. So coveralls was searched 16 times. Danner boots was searched 16 times. ASP 15 times. So you can start looking at how many times these specific things have been searched. And it gives you more information on what you want to optimize your site for. This is another way of looking at the data, but now we're going to take it into results, page views per search. So someone coming in looking at using police search or police shirts as their search term went into your site and looked at 7 pages during that visit. And these are averages. Danner pronghorn, 6 pages. So the more pages people look at measures a level of interest in your site. as they look around. So they've obviously seen something when they landed that gives them hope that they're going to find what they're looking for, gives them a reason to keep going through the site and hopefully purchasing those items from you. Another way of looking at the data then is by search depth. And so for search depth, this is the average number of pages that visitors view after performing a search. So after people have searched for Danner Acadia, on the average, they've looked at 41.5 pages within the site. 550 cord, on the average, looked at 40 pages. So these are ones that generated lots of interest, and those would be ones that you'd want to make, you want to optimize for, you'd want to make predominant on your site. It's what people are looking for and they're interested in, so you make it as easy as you can for them. So I think I forgot to say one thing. I made a jump here. One slide was out of place, so I didn't realize that I made the jump without saying anything. So the search reports, these were the ones from Google going into the site, and then these are ones once people are on the site. So I apologize for that. That probably made it a little confusing. The site search reports, these are things that people are doing once they're actually within the web store itself. So our software, in combination with Google's software, tracks what people are clicking on, and so you can tell that people were searching on the word coveralls. That means at the top of the web page in the search box, they typed coveralls or Danner boots, and this is what they found. So I apologize for skipping that. Okay, so what products are making the most money? Now we'll look at the e-commerce reports. And at first, when you first go in and you look at the overview, you look at the general, it gives a just an overview. It tells you how many transactions within that period, what the revenues, what the revenues were, what the average was, how many unique purchases, how many items, and then you get a conversion rate. And a 3.71 conversion rate is actually pretty good. That's not bad. That means for every 100 visitors to every 100 visits to the site, between 3 and 4 of those visits result in a purchase. And this is the general page, so you can look at what those things are. It gives you just a real quick view. The pineapple grenades, baseball grenades, lemon grenades. These are more security things here. But 202, 32, and you can see the percent in quantity. So 22.44% of what was bought were these things. So Google gives you a real easy overview of what has been purchased. The next view is you can start breaking it down by product. And these, like I said at the beginning, these are reports that are all just built into Google, so you just click and you can view these. You can look at the product. You can see the quantity, how many unique purchases. So somewhere between 3 different purchases, 202 of these were bought. The product revenue, the average price, and the average quantity per purchase. And so you can look at all the different things. And the importance of this is you can see by quantity what are your best sellers. And you can look down the whole list. I stopped at 21, but it would go and it would list all of them no matter how many there were. You can also look at product SKUs. So here we're looking just at the product. But if you want, the next level is you can break it down by product SKU. So for things that come in different sizes and different configurations, you can break it down by that and look at the same type of data. The other thing, too, then, is the product category. What are the best-selling categories? And here we can see from this report, Atlanco was at the top, Danner was at the, was second, Dickey's Industrial was following there. Another nice thing about the Google Analytics tables here, any one of these column headings, if this were live, you can click and it will sort ascending, descending based on the column heading. So it would be really easy to say, okay, I want to look at the product category, and then I want to look at product revenue and look at it as a function of that. And odds are the Danner one would shoot to the top. And in fact, that's what I show in this slide with the product SKU. So I selected to search by product SKU and then to look by revenue and sort by revenue. So this lets you look at, it's a different way of shifting it. It's not the one that you sold the most of, but it's the ones that made you the most money. So there's another way to focus your attention in terms of what to promote, what to highlight on your site, and what to sell, what to optimize for. In this report, we're looking at visits to transactions. And here's another thing about the visitor loyalty and people coming back. Here we see that for this one, 314 or 88.7% of the total transactions for this time period happened on the first visit, at least the first recorded visit. And there's always the caveat that Google Analytics it won't record that someone is a returning visitor if they're coming in from another computer, or if they use Internet Explorer one time and then Firefox another time and Google another time, because those things are stored in cookies. So if those things happen, Google will count those as first-time visits. So this number of first-time visitors, new visitors, is usually overestimated by Google Analytics. But this does let you see that, twice, 7.63% of the sales came from people on their second visit, 2.5% came from people on their third visit, and so on. And there is a percentage for 7 and more where people came back, made their purchase. So it took people 7 hits or more to actually pull the trigger and do what you wanted them to do, which is make a purchase on your site. And this one shows days to transactions. So not visits, but days. And so here we can see that most people made the transactions the first day that they came to the site. Some people, it took another day to come back, 2 days to come back, 3 days to come back, and more. And so some people, a week or more before they came back and they actually made their purchase. And even though this is a lot lower percent, without delving into the data more, this could actually represent, a larger dollar figure. So I've reviewed, I'm going to knock back here just for a second. I've reviewed 6 different ways of looking at data in Google Analytics. And the first were the traffic sources report. Where are people coming from? Organic versus paid versus direct traffic or campaigns. And then we looked briefly at visitor loyalty, how to look at how often people are coming back, new visitors versus old visitors, looking at that data. Then we looked at the landing pages reports, where you can look and see what people are doing in your site, where they're coming from. And one thing that I didn't show you, but there's more data inside Google Analytics, where people are leaving from. And as you get into it, you can get more and more complex data. You can spend a lot of time analyzing the data, and it can be very interesting looking at the habits of what people are doing and then adjusting your site appropriately. Then we looked at the search results, how people are finding your site from the search engines, looked at some of the site search results or site search reports for once people are on your website. And then finally, we looked at using Google Analytics to see where people are, how people are making transactions, what they're buying, and latency of buying, how many visits it takes, how many days between the visits. All data that Google Analytics makes readily available to you. The last thing I just wanted to talk about is Google Analytics has some other things that we're not going to talk about today, but we can talk about in future webinars that I call advanced topics, because they do take a thorough understanding of being able to set up different goals and events in Google. But you can look at funnels. So you can set up a funnel of landing page through cart through the checkout, and you can look and see where people are coming in, and at every step of the funnel, how many people are going through the conversion that you want them to do, and how many people are leaving. And setting up funnel visualizations for different goals that you have on the site allows you to visualize where you're losing people in the process. And once you know that, then you know where to put your efforts and what could use fixing. Goal URLs. If you have a landing page that you want to send out a newsletter about, some kind of an email, you can just measure that URL and you can see how many people go there, and you can have that be one of your goals. You can make events. How many times do people click on something in the site? Anything that's clickable on your website can be made into an event that Google can track. But again, these are things that you'd have to set up. Multi-channel funnels is something new to Google, as are assisted conversions, because it allows you to visualize where people are coming from when multiple channels are used. So someone might find you in a search engine, they might answer a campaign in an email ad, or any one of those other types of things. And multi-channel funnels lets you see that and lets you track it. And the assisted conversions is similar to the multi-channel funnels in that you can see all the different steps that people have gone through prior to making a sale on your, or making a purchase on your site. But those are advanced topics, and take an understanding of Google Analytics and some scripting. Okay, one word of warning, not last word, because I haven't given you any words of warning, but when you go and you look about search engine optimization and you find people responding to your requests for people to do it, there's a thing in the search engine optimization industry, white hat versus black hat. And white hat, it's just like the old cowboy movies. White hat is good, black hat is bad. White hat is doing the things that the search engines want you to do. The search engines want your content to be good content. They want people to find you because people are looking for what you have to offer. They don't want people to find you because they've been tricked into thinking that you have stuff that you don't have, or that lots of people are linking to your site when those links are not good, valid links. So white hat SEO is creating content for users, not creating it for the search engine. If you make the content for the users and you think of them, then the search engines will pick up on that, and your pages will rank higher and higher over time. It's not an overnight thing. Search engine optimization and good page ranking, good solid permanent page ranking, takes time and effort. One of the things you do want to do is making the content easily accessible to the spiders. What you don't want to do is try to, they call it gaming the algorithm. You don't want to try to trick Google. Google is, they hire lots and lots of smart people, and they understand the tricks. So when people started just using content farms and just putting out gibberish content that had links back to sites, at first that was being picked up as good content. Google caught on to that technique, and a update that they did in, I think it was March or April, effectively wiped out all the ranking on those sites. And once your ranking is wiped out due to using black hat techniques, it's hard to get back into good standing. It takes a long time to come back. Like I say at the bottom, black hatters do get punished by Google, and they get punished by being de-indexed. So you could have very high ranking, but Google can just turn it off very easily. And the short-term results are not worth the long-term consequences of using those types of techniques. So when you do talk to people about doing search engine optimization for you, you want to make sure that they do things like provide relevant keywords, update content regularly, analyze your search results using the analytics reports, and take corrective actions based on that. You want to provide relevant links to other websites, as well as requesting other networks to link to you, as long as they're relevant. If you're in the book industry, you'd want to link to other things related to that. If you're in the apparel industry, other things related to that. In the industrial launderers industry, other things related to that. You don't want to be linked to from just any site, and especially sites that only exist for the purpose of providing links to other sites. Those backlink farms are very much frowned down upon. The other things you want to look for is you want to blog relevant original content. That's real big, and it makes you look very strong. And you want to build backlinks through relevant, useful, expert comments on people's blogs that are related to the things that you do for a living. Some of the things that you don't want to do are listed down here. You don't want to do keyword stuffing. That's easy to detect, and it's very bad. You don't want to use doorway or cloaked pages. That's a way of tricking someone to your site by advertising something else and then using a redirect away. You don't want to use link farming. That's backlinks from these sites that just provide backlinks, and it doesn't matter where they're coming from. You don't want to use hidden text. You don't want to spam blogs, and backlinking, you want to make sure you're not just doing irrelevant backlinking, because those don't do you any good, and they just will end up getting you de-indexed. So finally, at UniformMarket, we do build e-commerce sites for our clients, and we offer high-quality apparel, footwear, and accessories for the sites that offer high-quality apparel, footwear, and accessories. Our clients sell products that people want, and we want people to find our client sites when they're searching for those products. And to that end, we utilize honest search engine optimization strategies. We are constantly updating and improving our store system to increase our clients' online visibility, and we like to educate our clients about SEO and marketing so that they can make the best business decisions. Definitely, I'd like to thank you.
I'd like to add a just kind of a general statement about. I've been responding to the emails. This is Dave Sykes, and Lee. That was a great overview. It was a great technical overview. This is a complex area of the website world. Lee has taught himself how to all these skills because he's applied himself to reading through the all the data that's available to us. You can do the same. The one thing I want to mention to everybody who has a website, anybody who's considering a website, is that a website is like a physical store, or it's a physical business. All you're doing is automating it. It does require the business person, and that's all of you folks, to apply your very creative business minds to improving your website, which is in effect another business. So you guys are all great marketing people. That's why you're business owners. So if you apply your business knowledge to the websites, your websites will be found by not only your constituents that you're trying to reach out to, but the people that you never that's the beauty of the website, is your knowledge will attract prospects and clients from outside of your current geographic business region. And that's what this is all about, is trying to get more clients to use your website to buy from you. And so all these tools that Lee's been showing you all help you understand that. So you can hire an SEO, SEM firm to help you put your marketing ideas into your website. So that's really the business side of it. Is think about this as this is your physical store, and you have to instruct your employee what you want to do. That's what I wanted to cover.
All right, thanks, Dave. Were there any other questions? Rick, are there any things that were asked that and not answered?
No, there weren't actually. The majority of the questions were actually rather technical in nature, so people were actually digging a little deeper. Many of the concepts that Lee covered, we could spend full hours, talking about individual aspects of it. I think the important thing is, to start at the top and get your general funnels set up, and then start drilling in as you see the traffic and you see the results of your efforts, and you can continue to fine-tune. I think that was the basic message of what people were asking about. And just as a reminder, if people weren't looking at the replies to questions, we will make this presentation available as a PowerPoint. Email Dave, D-A-V-E, at UniformMarket.com, or there on the screen, Gorski at UniformMarket.com, and we'd be happy to provide the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you. So once again, thanks for attending. I hope people found this interesting, worthwhile. It's a fascinating subject, and it's one that I think is very important to anyone that wants to do business online. If anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me, Gorski at UniformMarket.com, or the phone number there, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you again.